Hey, how's it going? It's Alex again. It's been a while. I'm not doing another mixing video tonight. Maybe I will later this week, next week. I don't know. Anyways, so this morning, Chris Salim of the Mixdown Online channel posted about how Macs have super awesome aggregate devices, and I agree that is something that's super awesome. So I went on a bit of a hunting trip to see if I could actually do an aggregate device in Windows, since I'm a Windows user preferably. And I found this little thing called VB Pro Audio, and I've used them before for a couple things, like their Banana. I've used that before in Voice Meter, trying to use it for audio routing. Well, they've come out with Coconut, and I never noticed this before, but this is like a Dante routing matrix sort of deal, but instead of using Dante devices, it uses just your interfaces, your ASIO interfaces. So I took a couple of my interfaces and I hooked them up together, downloaded this program, installed it, and then this is kind of what, whoop, no, not that one. That's what it looks like. I instantiated, right click, I selected my Steinberg device, and then I have my Motu M4 right over here, and they're linked together. And then I had to instantiate this guy. This is my virtual ASIO 8. So it's got 8 channels. I can instantiate a 128 matrix. And just here's what the matrix looks like. That's it. So I've got 8 channels for my virtual matrix. I've got all my 6 channels for my Steinberg UR28M, my inputs for my Motu M4, my outputs for my Steinberg, my outputs for my Motu, and then virtual inputs. Yes, virtual outputs. And then I just kind of routed them how I would. So my Steinberg is routed to the first 4 inputs. So my analog inputs right here. These are SPDIF. I don't have anything SPDIF, so I just left those blank. I did not connect them down here. And then, yeah, those inputs are connected to these outputs. My Motu 1, 2, 3, 4 inputs are connected to these 4 outputs. And this is how this virtual ASIO 8 is how I have am set up in Cubase. So you go over to Cubase, go into Studio Setup. My audio system is VB Matrix Virtual ASIO 8. And there we go. Right now the latency's set high. You can lower it, but since I'm mixing, I always just keep it high. Yeah. And then now I can set up some ins and outs using my inputs. I've got my virtual ASIO ins if I needed them, which I'm not using them. What I am using, though, is some external effects. And this is kind of where this platform for me would shine. Because I like my UR28M as a desktop interface, but it's pretty limited on inputs and outputs. So you get another box, and you can connect those, or that box, to any outboard analog gear that you want to tinker with. And that's what I did. I've got a DBX163 compressor, and I've got a PreSonus Eureka channel strip, which has an EQ and compressor. Let's go back to that. I have that set up, so it's coming out my Motu output 3 and input 3 on my Motu. And if we look at my routing matrix, Motu input 3 is virtual ASIO 8. And I come over here to my virtual ASIO 8 right here, my interface, and Motu output 3 right here is connected to the virtual ASIO 8. So it's like Dante. It's a lot less confusing once you actually work with it, but it's totally cool. And so now everything works just fine. And I've even created this additional routing matrix stuff so that I can have my microphone and my Cubase record into OBS. So you're hearing this stream via this right here. This is actually isn't connected to anything. I'm just using my interface directly in. my Motu interface directly in. Cool. So let's do a little quick listen. And it all works. And we can see I've got my Eureka inserted on something. Oh yeah, I made a kick snare parallel bus right here. Right there. We can see I've got my Eureka. It does the automatic delay measurement of 158 samples. So using this A, high buffer size on my virtual sound card, but B, using two different interfaces, the latencies are going to be a little bit longer than normal, but still pretty manageable. So you just hit measure delay. There we go, 156.8 milliseconds, which is not useful in a tracking session, but it's for mixing, it's fine. And we can listen to it. Where's my listen button? It's around here somewhere. I know it's around here somewhere. Cool, and that's my Eureka. Pull that back down. Let's see. And I've got my DBX163 over my bass channel, and I just made this a mono bass track. Usually I have this thing set up as stereo, but I'm using just a mono bass, and it works, and it sounded great. Right, it's kind of fucking weird, but it's kind of cool in the track. Yeah, it is timely. Yeah, I saw that Chris Salim video this morning, and I was like, oh, that would be nice if we had that in Windows, and we do. So I do have the link in my description for BB Audio's Coconut, and it takes you right here, and you download it. If you do want to buy it, and I'm not getting a kickback, by the way. I wish I was, but I'm not. It's donationware. So I'm a fan. If I was going to use this more often, which I actually might start collecting more analog gear now. Yeah, I'd give them $10. You know what? Maybe I even give them 20, because this is a pretty useful program, it seems like. I did play around with it on my bigger rig, on my other computer for mobile recording. I'm not sure the latency is quite there for tracking between devices. Yeah, so I don't know how much use it's going to be there, but for mixing, totally cool. For just like an internal in the box sort of deal, totally cool. Yeah, I think that's all. Okay, so let me take you on a little tour of this program real quick. So here's our matrix. It's just like Dante, or if you've got the Motu 16A or the AVB system, it's exactly like this, right? You've got inputs, you've got outputs. You can select it so that it is the inputs and outputs flip on the grid, right? So that these are my analog inputs, and they connect directly to my virtual sound card. As far as my interface, or as far as my software is concerned in Cubase, right? And then this microphone, you just can control click and I can turn it off. Let's see. And then you can save presets. Like I literally just downloaded this, started playing with it. This is our aggregate devices. You have to go up here. You can change your settings, change your latencies. You can insert delays on specific inputs and outputs. Like if it's really, really bad, and it's not adjusted automatically, you can change your sample rates. You can change your clock master, right? And that's pretty easy. I could change my master. I had it set initially to my Steinberg as my master clock to sync my devices, but it stopped working. Like, it didn't want to work, so I just am using my just system as the clock, and it seems to be doing just fine. Yeah, that's all I got. I just wanted to make this video and show this off, and hopefully it works. Yeah, I'm happy to do it. There's another dude who made a big long setup video. I forget his name. Just do a quick Google search. I think it's actually on the VB page down here somewhere. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. It's in here somewhere. But he made this guy right here. He made a couple of big long setup videos, and yeah, it works. Hopefully they figure out a way to improve the latency so that I can use this for tracking, because I would love to have 28 inputs or with my current gear for tracking. That'd be super awesome. I could probably get away with it. It's everything's just kind of a little bit off. I did some loop back testing with my big rig, my UR824, and then the Motu, and just did a quick loop back test, and they were off by about 75 samples at 48K, which isn't a lot, but it's enough. People get pissy about that. Yeah. Anyways, that's all I have for tonight. I just wanted to show this off, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, I'm out of here. I'm going to bed. I'm tired. Have a good night, everybody.